I've got a few things. I want to just begin with an illustration. Might not make any sense, but I will cycle back to this illustration.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of living in Southeast Alaska. I lived on an island, and there's only two ways to get to this island, by boat or by plane. And I didn't really know anything about sailing boats at all, let alone boats in Southeast Alaska where the waters are dangerous and there's rocks under the water and all of this stuff. And just learning like, hey, this is like serious stuff. You could die out here in this ocean. And you guys are commercial fishermen, and it's very robust kind of lifestyle. So, but I realized something. I don't need to own a boat. I just need to know people who own boats. And I don't need to know how to sail a boat. I just need to make sure that I go sailing with people who know how to sail boats. Mm. One of the things that I think we have to do as trainers is to realize that my job isn't to know everything in every book that's surrounding me right now. I just need to know where it is in this book. That we're finding these things together. So I need to go in prepared. And what I would say is the greatest thing to go prepared in whenever you're doing any kind of formal training, what do you want to deliver your time in? What do you want to know? I will give you one thing. If you could focus, especially if you're starting out in ministry, starting out as training, and even thinking about formal, non-formal, and informal. If there's one thing you could learn that will carry you for the next 50 years of your life, here it is. You ready? This is exciting. This is it. This is the one thing. Know the context of every chapter of every book of the Bible. Boom. You will be able to talk about scripture with people because we're bringing people to scripture. Now, then after you have to kind of grow in that, because those contexts will never change. Yeah. If you know the context of Genesis 1, it's never going to change in your lifetime. It's always going to be the context. But what I want to bring to everything is a scriptural worldview. And then we can go on a journey together. We can study a book together. We can go through a class. I can read the book ahead of you and maybe come up with some kind of outline of what we're going to teach. And sometimes I might be one step ahead of the hounds and going through that book. But the issue was, what I don't want to be is I don't want to be one step ahead of the hounds when it comes to scripture. I want to know it. And the best way to know it is not to memorize verses. It's to memorize contexts. What is the context of this book? What is the context of this chapter? So if somebody throws a verse at you, and you might even remember that verse was in the Bible, but they tell you it's Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 17. Well, I know the context of Habakkuk chapter 1, so you read me the verse, I can tell you what, we can talk about it. And so we want to bring that to the table, like bring our scriptural, spend our time in that. Over time, you'll buy your books. Over time, you'll grow in all of the books about the Bible. But know the source. All of these books are grounded in this. I'm pointing to my Bible, by the way. So I'm pointing downward. But know the source. All of these are all about this. So let's go here. Know the context. That over the course of your next 40, 50 years, you'll own hundreds of books, thousands of books, and you'll grow and you'll be able to add those in. But early on, as you're starting, that's what you want to know. That's going to make you the best formal, non-formal, informal trainer, is to know the context.